Hello, welcome back to Tweet the Leader New podcast, where we chat about realistic leadership theories. On today's podcast, we'll be talking about mental health and its importance. Before we start, we're going to start with an Afrocentric land acknowledgement. As people of African descent, we offer this land recognition in solidarity with the indigenous people of Turtle Island in the efforts and deliberate intentions towards decolonization. As people of Afrocentric descent, we acknowledge the land of Turtle Island that sustains us, express deep gratitude to its indigenous peoples, and pledge to honor our dignity and divinity that ultimately connects us all. Mental health is very important, and last month we actually celebrated mental health in May. I feel it's very important that Tweet the Leader New podcast acknowledges that we respect and value people who go through mental health. As someone who is a host, sometimes I go through mental health challenges and I try to cope with them through connecting with different people who I trust to have those type of conversations with. As we reflect on what does mental health mean to you, think about that question a little bit. If I could answer that question for you, personally, I would think mental health is something that you would go through sometimes through pain, sometimes through hurt, sometimes just through stress and explaining in different examples of that thought. When going through mental health, you have to have a support system. And I totally support doing that. Mental health, talk to a friend, encourage a friend. Make sure you have someone who you can call on. And I'm so thankful that I have friends who I can call on when going through different struggles. And I always try to say, hey, not because I am this whole person who goes on to a podcast, help you motivate, help you be inspired, help you connect with your stories. Doesn't mean that Templeton Tyler Sawyer does not go through anything. I go through it, but I always try to say I don't share that so often on the podcast or share that so often on social media when I'm inspiring people in the community. But I try to say, hey, go and talk to someone, because if you don't, then you're gonna keep it all in, and then you're gonna be very emotional about it. And sometimes, and I could be honest with you, I've been emotional some days. Sometimes I didn't know what I want to do. I didn't know who to call on. But sometimes I had to just stay to myself or go for walks. That helped me through my mental health journey. I always try to say I walk to the office every day. I actually live about 7 minutes walk, I would say, away from my office. And I feel like that's been one of the helpful things through my mental health journey, to walk to work, just to listen to music, get ready for the day. And as I prepare for the day, when I get to the office, it's like one of those ease, calm moments. And then after a busy day at the office, I like to walk back home as well, because I'm decluttering and getting all that negative energy or whatever energy that came to me that day. I try to release it off my shoulders as I walk home before entering my sanctuary, my space that I call home, and all that good stuff. Protecting yourself is very important. Being a mental health advocate is important. Advocating for persons who are going through mental health, supporting them and being an ally is very important. Showing up is one of the ways that you can support and advocate for mental health. Being there for your friend, calling them, asking them if they're okay, and also checking in when you have those moments, if you think about it. I always try to say, if you think about somebody, that means you should go ahead and check on them, because you don't know what they're going through in the moment, and they might have needed your message. And I always try to do it to my friends, and they greatly appreciate it. So be a mental health advocate in supporting other persons with mental health. When was a time when you wanted to give, and then sometimes you were not mentally there to actually do it? When was that time? Think about it. Just reflect about it. Now that you reflected about that, how did you feel? Like what consume your mind? What struggles did you went through because you didn't do that? Sometimes we want to give a lot. And for me personally, I always try to say I want to give to the whole world. I want to give to everybody. I want to give. But at the end of the day, it mentally sometimes it messes with your mental health. It messes with you mentally. And sometimes I have to know when I have to step back as well, because I'm a person, I'm very passionate. I love to give. I love to consume other energies. I love to be out, and I love to just stay active. But sometimes you have to know when to just step back. And sometimes you have to know when to say, hey, I can't give my time right now. I have to protect my mental health right now in this moment. And sometimes it's hard to say that, and it's hard to be aware of that. But it's important to do that, because it helps you that, hey, I'm protecting myself. It's gonna keep me be healthy. And I can say there were times when I had to do that, when I know that I was overworking myself. And sometimes we go through so much burnout. And burnout is another side of mental health. You literally don't want to feel bed rested. I remember back in 2021 of November, I had a big burnout where I had to literally stop everything and just try to pause and try to recover my body. Sometimes that's not even a good, healthy space to be in sometimes. But hey, I want to encourage you, those who are going through mental health challenges, hey, we're here for you. I'm here for you. I want you to know that you're not alone in this. I believe that you can get through this. I know sometimes it's easy for me to say that, but it's hard for those actions to do. But hey, I'm here to support you. And I want to actually say that sometimes people always say that you can do this or you can't do that. And those can't sometimes of words sometimes can mentally drain you. Words of sometimes a powerful tool. So be guarded to the words that you're saying to people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the struggles and the pain and emotions that they're going through. So be guarded to that. That's mostly important. And I try to say that to all of my friends as well. Be very careful to the words that you're saying to people. Don't think that, hey, they're not caring about you in the moment. They might be actually going through something. They might be actually going through a struggle that they don't know how to have that conversation with you because you're not that supportive person. And so be an advocate by supporting persons in that way, by just not making assumptions, just caring about them in that moment. And I'm saying this because, hey, I've experienced all of that with persons making assumptions and stuff like that. And so I want to actually prevent that for all those who want to support persons with mental health and who want to actually go throughout supporting people. This is actually an emotional topic for sure. I tend not to want to touch on such topics, but it's important to share those topics in need that helps us to grow in leadership. And we talk about tweet the leader in you. It talks about transform with excellence, enthusiastic talent. And the transformation is a part of that, of talking about those type of stories and sharing your journey. And I've come from a mighty long way. I would say it was not easy mentally to get where I am today. There has been some ups and downs, and a lot of people sometimes. I remember one time mentally, I was in a mental health state, and one of my friends they didn't know what was going on, and they thought that everything was going fine, everything was perfect, and I said to myself like no, that is not. I'm just not sharing this with you because of the state that I'm in right now, and so you have to understand that not everything you see in front of a camera, not every time you see someone taking a post or something like that, doesn't mean that everything's okay with them. They're just enjoying life. They're just having a good time. And that's why I say I enjoy life. I have a good time. But at the end of the day, there's sometimes some struggles that I have to face and I have to deal with. And so, again, don't make that assumption. Just be on guard to protect other persons. I want to leave you with this saying, be guarded of yourself. Be protected of yourself. Be on guard of your surroundings. Stay with yourself, connect with other people, and know that you can be all that you can do. Thank you for this episode, and we'll see you at the next one.